Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Young Guns. I'm Guy Joubert with Wilson Combat, also a member of the Wilson Combat shooting team, and today we are honored to have my little brother, Austin Proulx, on the set with us, and we are going to talk about a couple different topics. We're going to talk about 320s, kind of in general. We're going to talk about some new upgraded finish options that we're doing here at Wilson Combat, and we're going to touch on maybe some weapon light and some carry optic stuff too.
Cool stuff.
First off, how long have you been shooting a 320?
I've had this gun for 2 years now. 2 or 3 years.
Oh. I think we sent you one of the first ones.
Yeah.
If I remember right, back in, it's probably been 3 years. 2020.
Had one pretty early on.
Yep, 2020. I've been shooting one on and off a little bit in SSP, about that same time frame. Good guns.
Yeah.
Brilliant design. Gotta give credit where credit's due. Sig knocked that out of the park. The modularity of these guns, where the fire control unit is the serialized item, and then you have basically a piece of polymer that most think is the frame, but it's not. Like, I can ship this to your front door and the ATF's okay with that, which is cool. And then you can use that same fire control and change up kind of the size of your gun too. So full size, carry, compact. So both of these take 17 round mags. This one takes 15 round mags. You could stick a 17 round mag in there, but it's going to hang out the bottom a little bit and be a gap. But the modularity of these things were brilliant. And you can change out the top ends. You can go full size or the carry compact or the same size barrel and slide. Brilliant design. They're kind of taking over the world, and Big Army picked them up, and that
helped a lot.
That helps a lot. But even in the shooting sports and even in law enforcement, I've seen a lot of these being used by different departments. You guys probably see them out in Colorado as well with some of the municipalities.
It seemed like once the Army picked these up, a lot of law enforcement agencies started jumping over pretty quick. As soon as they got that contract, it sort of spread across there. And then in competition, people started realizing these are affordable, accurate, ergonomically pleasing guns. And like you said, the modularity, you can get one fire control unit and buy accessories and different parts to shoot across multiple divisions in competition, and then you can configure it to be a home defense gun or a carry gun or whatever you want to do with it. So, and
if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Sig sells like caliber conversion kits to where if you've got a 9mm, you can go 357 Sig or 40, as long as it's same body size.
Right. Same frame.
Pretty brilliant design. Let's talk about your setup here.
Yeah.
So, little light flick there.
Little accidental discharge.
Yeah. So, weapon light.
Yep.
TLR1 Streamlight.
Yeah. I've got this kitted out for competition, home defense, law enforcement training. I wanted a gun that would mimic what they're using. Right. Because when I'm doing LEO classes or military classes, if I go in there and I'm shooting basically an open competition gun or something like that, there's less that I can relate to them on there. Yeah. So I want to shoot the guns they're using with the optics they're using, the lights they're using, and obviously there will be some differences depending on where I'm going. Some agencies will be, or departments will be running, Surefires or the Trigicon RMR or whatever, but this represents a lot of what I'm seeing out there in competition and in law enforcement. So
you're still apples to apples.
Yeah.
Might be Granny Smiths versus Red Delights, but
they're all apples.
Yeah,
everybody's happy. Yeah. No, and I love this gun. I've been shooting it quite a bit I haven't shot much carry optics, but when I shoot carry optics in USPSA, I want to take the big stick 21 rounders out and play a little bit. It's been doing great for me. So I've enjoyed it a bunch. I abuse this kind of like all my other pistols. I don't clean them very often. Just add oil and they keep on running. So
that's the one good thing about tactical Tupperware.
Yep.
Is you can lube it and keep rolling. So kind of you got some unique stuff going on here on the grip module.
Got the special sauce on there.
Yep. So this is both of these, this gray module and the black module. The black module you've had since August when you guys were out here for the shooting team was out here for some video work. And then this one we sent to you probably within the last month or two.
Yeah, pretty recently.
The grit texture, which I think is going to be a very popular finish upgrade. It's a media solution that we apply to the frame or the module in this case. While the armor-tuff is wet and it sticks at that point, and then we spray a light coat over the top of it of armor-tuff to kind of stick it from both sides and then bake it. And it adheres quite well. You've got both of these modules, and then you've got an SFT that has the same texture done to it. You are a user of guns. They are tools, they're not safe queens. Which is awesome to test this finish or this upgrade out to see how well it's gonna hold up and over time and with the abuse that you put on your guns. So we've been pleased. We've got 6 going on 7 months of testing basically with this texture, and it's held up nice. We're ready to, based off the feedback and the testing that you and some of the other team members have given us about the samples that we provided to you guys, I think we're ready to bring this to the market as an option on pretty much any handgun. We can get that on there and talk about how it enhances the grip of the gun
a lot.
Yeah,
it's really good. No, I was going to touch on that too. We have other team members that shoot P320's more often than I do, and theirs have been holding up great, and we've been abusing the heck out of these things, and I've honestly been shocked at how well it stayed. But it's really nice because you've got a full 360 degrees of coverage here, whereas though the factory texturing on there is great, this is just an extra level of grippiness, which is a technical term.
And it's not for everybody.
No, no. If I was concealed carrying inside the waistband without an undershirt, I would probably have a sore spot.
Yes.
But for duty or home defense or competition, if you want that extra level of non-slipification, no matter what's going on with your hands.
Is that in Webster's?
It is, actually. Okay. Yeah. It was added last year or the year before.
Okay.
But I've shot these with soaking wet hands. You know, sometimes you have to start a stage with your hands in a bucket of water.
And I don't know about you, but I'm clumsy, and sometimes I bleed while I'm shooting.
Yeah. I bleed on pretty much all my guns at some point.
And no issues with that that I've experienced on the one that I've had and been kind of shooting and testing with.
Yeah. It's like these guns, once they get that texture on there, they like the blood. It enhances the stickiness.
And personally, I like a grip and a texture to be aggressive enough that it almost makes me bleed when I shoot a gun. I'm that guy.
Me too.
And like I said, it's not for everybody. But if you're looking for a little bit more aggressiveness, a little bit more texture, almost like a skate tape type feel, but full coverage. And it doesn't really add to the width or the profile of the frame that you can sometimes see with skate tape, depending on how much you put on there. Back before we started doing this, I would put 3 strips around the front strap and the back strap, and then lay a panel over the top of those. And after you've basically got 2 layers of skate tape in certain areas on the side, and it really expands it. It doesn't really bother me that much because I've got decent sized hands, but some people that would really affect the feel of the gun in the hand, where you don't have that issue with this finish application and option, which I think will be, ideal for a lot of people.
I think it's pretty cool.
I do too. So let's go back up top to Carry Optic. You're a fan?
I'm a fan.
Okay. All right. Have you carried a Carry Optic much? Because I'm still on the fence. I haven't gone to the dark side yet. I've shot them. Don't get me wrong. I've used them. I'm decent with them. I wouldn't say I've mastered the Carry Optic, because there is some work that needs to go into it to master a Carry Optic. My biggest thing is, do you have to worry about like condensation on the lens coming out of like the warm truck into the cold elements where you're at in Colorado?
Have
you experienced that?
I don't carry with a dot.
Okay.
My carry guns wear iron sights because I don't think I have the self-discipline to make sure that I have batteries that are fresh all the time.
And I'll clean my guns.
Right, yeah. That's just me being totally honest. And I've talked about that in prior videos. it's one extra thing. And for the people that know they can stay on top of it, you know, there are advantages to having a dot across any measurable metric. Once you put in the work and get really proficient with a dot, they are measurably better than irons up close and at distance, speed and accuracy.
And I think that beginners, I've seen it, you've probably seen it on the range doing training and stuff. A lot of times beginners struggle with lining up all three things, you know, rear sight, front sight, target, where the dot probably makes it a whole lot easier to become efficient quicker for a beginner shooter.
Yeah, because you're just superimposing one thing instead of aligning three separate focal planes simultaneously.
And I've seen it from people that I've shot with for years. It's really elevated their game, their accuracy, their speed.
Our teammate Jeremy Story, I used to beat him every single time, and then he picked up a dot, and I am forever chasing that dude.
And
so
he's a beast anyway. But optics are a game changer. I'm fully aware of that. I've seen the benefits that it's had with other shooters. There's just certain things that I'm like,
you got to put in the work, and
you got to be diligent on your maintenance and your battery. I feel like I'd be trying to adjust the brightness of the dot all the time too. Yeah,
and that's another thing. The ones that auto dim, I've heard LEO and concealed carry guys say, when it's in a holster, it's dark, and then when I pull it out, if it's bright outside, it takes a second for it to catch up and brighten up to meet the environment outside of my dark holster. So I've got no dot for a second. I have to wait for it to actually show up and adjust to that light. So there are certain features like that I don't know are actually beneficial. So you've got to stay up on your upkeep. There are things that can go wrong with it, like you were saying, condensation or fogging, or if you get rain on an open emitter dot, you're gonna have some scattering. Now enclosed emitter dots are getting better and smaller and more reliable. So the technology is definitely catching up with the issues that you see, but for me personally, it's not quite there yet. When we get a dot that fits with no extra profile and won't have any of those issues and has a 5-year battery life, maybe I'll hop on board.
Well, and the other thing that we have in our favor is this is a Young Guns episode, and our eyes are still pretty good.
Doing good so far.
You don't wear contacts or anything?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm pretty lucky.
I've been blessed.
Pretty lucky.
So, so my dad he's my dad, so he's older than I am, and he's recently gone 2 dots, and he's loving it. Like older, depreciating eyesight. A lot of people are fans of these, and I get it, and it makes sense to me, but I'm luckily not there yet and haven't crossed over to the dark side, and I'm still competitive in iron sight divisions and am comfortable carrying with iron sights daily. So not yet, but not saying never, because
things are always getting better.
They're always getting better, and the technology that the optic companies are the research and the designing that they're doing to these things are impressive. And they've come a long way from when we first started seeing optics on guns, and kudos to those guys. But at the end of the day, it's a personal choice of optic or no optic, and optics definitely becoming more popular. I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, iron sights are dumb. Iron sights are rocks. They're easy, they're reliable, they're always going to be there. As long as you don't put enough screw up into this to break one of those off. I mean, you can break the fiber optic rod. I've shot competition without a fiber optic rod before, and it's just regular irons at that point.
So in a low light scenario, it works pretty good without the fiber rod in.
Notice that.
Yeah. Okay. Don't try that at home unless you just want to experiment, but it kind of helps out in low light conditions.
Yeah, irons are dumb and reliable, and this is a little spaceship sitting on top here. So for certain things, they're awesome.
They look, you got the sex appeal though.
That is true.
It's Wickish. It's John Wickish.
It looks super tactical, because especially when I have the big 21 rounders in here and the light and the red dot, I look like I know what I'm doing. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
they're cool, but I'm not up to speed on them for carry yet.
Gotcha.
And speaking of carry, I'm a big fan of that guy right there.
This compact.
The compact.
Yep. So compact carry top end, which typically most people don't have issues concealing the slide and barrel, because it's in the holster along the side of the leg. It's more the grip.
Yep.
And so this grip is a little bit smaller, takes 15 round magazines as opposed to the 17 round magazines that come with the carry size and the full size. Adds to the concealability of the gun. We can do action tunes on these. This has a straight Gray Guns action tune trigger in it. Great little guns. We've had good luck with these. These are the kind of the most recent release of the 320 family from Wilson Combat. We started with the full size, went to the carry, and then now to the compact. And they've been good sellers for us, and they fit a niche, you know, the people that want a little bit smaller gun for concealed purposes or smaller hands, whatever the case may be. These have done well for us. All of three of these have been great sellers. They're just good guns. We've not had many issues at all with these, and most of the issues that we have had have been self-induced a lot of times. But that comes down to knowledge and experience and training. And one thing that you touched on earlier is you're doing training now. How do we find you to enroll? Because I need to be educated on some stuff.
Go Fast Concepts.
Go Fast Concepts.
Go Fast Concepts.
Just Google that and you'll come up.
Right, yeah. There's not a lot of Go Fast Concepts out there, so I'm the first website typically. There's Go Fast Campers, which I had to compete with a little bit. So,
okay, well, Go Fast Concepts, Austin Proulx. This kid knows what he's doing. He's a good teacher. He's a great guy. Like I said in the intro, he's my little brother from another mother. But thanks again for joining us for another episode of Young Guns. We hope you enjoyed the topics that were discussed, and leave comments down below for topics that you'd like to see us discuss in the future.